Good morning. Welcome to the Independence High Local 1 2020 commencement ceremony. As you know, we have been away from one another since mid-March, but the staff at Independence wanted to make sure you had a commencement ceremony. So here we are, virtually. This class has persevered through many obstacles. Not only have you had to navigate through your own personal experiences, but also those associated with the many transitions of the school and the current pandemic. You've shown that regardless of what came your way in the last 4 years, that you can adapt to change, persevere, and successfully reach your desired goal. In spite of what has happened, this is happening right now. Congratulations. I'd like to take a moment to also congratulate your family members as well. This is their moment too. No matter how you are linked to this class, as a parent, family member, mentor, teacher, district employee, or operator staff, this too is a moment for us to celebrate the fruits of our labor. For all of your prayers, words of encouragement, creative conversations, money and time spent, rides given, tears shed, whatever way you have supported, this is your moment to say, yes, it is all worth it. This is a unique group of students. They are respectful, determined, and full of personal and professional goals. Graduates, as you move forward in life, know that things that come easy are called gifts or blessings. Everything else requires work. Maintain healthy relationships with your support systems, and remember, your integrity is everything. I look forward to watching you climb your ladders of success.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. You've made it. I also want to congratulate your parents, your grandparents, your uncles and aunts, sisters and brothers, all those that supported you through your matriculation of 12 years of school. Today is a special day of celebration to all of them as well. Now, specifically for you, graduates, I know that many of you are disappointed that you didn't finish the regular school year out in the school building with your friends and your teachers, and you didn't be able to do all the different things, the trips and fun things that you normally would do in the last year of school. Many of you may begin to feel that you're not even prepared for graduation. You may feel that you're just not ready for the challenges ahead. But let me tell you, you are more prepared than you think. You have lived through the tragedy of 9/11. You witnessed the horror of Freddie Gray. You are currently dealing with COVID-19 while fighting for freedom, justice, and equality that was brought about by the brutal murder of George Floyd. Yes, I say you are more ready than you know. My challenge to you now is to think about what you will dedicate the rest of your life to. What will your life's work be? The challenges of tomorrow await you. Your leadership is needed. Challenges such as climate change, economic and social justice, all of the various different challenges that meet us in the future, such as scientific and medical discoveries that will come, they will come from people like you. So I say to you all, don't think small of yourselves. Don't be disappointed. Lift your head up high. You have made a tremendous accomplishment. So once again, congratulations to the class of 2020.
class of 2020. I want to start off by saying how proud I am of every single last one of you. Life hasn't been too easy on any of us lately, and I'm so sorry about that. But despite it all, the obstacles that we have been facing, we have all managed to continue to fight throughout. I want everyone to be proud of everything you have gone through and mostly what you have become. Stop being so hard on yourselves. You are in the exact same place you are meant to be in. So breathe, be patient, and trust the course of your life. Let go of all of the expectations you have created in your head and accept reality as it comes. Accept life for what it is while embracing everything that makes you unique. I also want each and every one of you to never be in competition with anyone. You are in one person and your own person. We are all human. Just don't let that mentality stick with you forever. Always strongly remember that no one has the same goal, expectations, abilities, morals, strengths, opportunities, and qualities as you. You make your own life and create your own path. Think for yourself and don't be moved by focusing on other people. Because when you're slipping off your balance beam, just by worrying about what you could do better than the next person, you're not doing nothing but bringing yourself down and slowing down your progress in life. Don't let anyone or anything deflect your attention from your life. Create a meaningful life for you. Promise me you will make the most of it all. More importantly, never give up on your passions or your dreams. Do not waste your time on people who do not believe in you. Only surround yourself with people who want what's best for you, who will encourage you and inspire you. You deserve the world and so much more. Continue making me proud because of 2020. I'm so proud of you guys.
Good morning, Independence family. Good morning, Independence Local 1, class of 2020. I am so proud of you. I have watched you all grow over the last 3 years. We have shared many memories, mostly good, some a bit tough, but together we made it through. You all are amazing. Your strength and tenacity has blown my mind. I'm sure your next chapter will be even more amazing. No cap.
So here we are. Good afternoon and congratulations to the proud families and friends of the graduates, but especially to the wonderful graduating class of 2020. You know, it didn't take long at all for me to become attached to this class. You know, I kind of feel like a soon-to-be empty nester standing in a doorway watching my very own children walk off into an unforgiving world. You know, without mental reservation, I can tell you that it was a privilege to teach this group of young people. Teaching this class made me feel like I was coaching a team full of Michael Jordans. Now, did they always want to play? But when they did, it was easy to be overwhelmed by their brilliance. You know, Dorian, he could ace an exam at will. And if you ever took the time to listen to the type of questions Taiwan would ask, you know they clearly flowed from higher order thinking. You know you're going to get 1,000% effort from Aaliyah, Corietta, and James. You can count on consistent scholarship from Kalia and Amina. And witnessing Jordan's mind take flight was a thing of beauty. And then there's Anthony, you know, the young man with the $1 million smile, the brilliance of which could only be supplanted by the brilliance of his mind. You know, you could always count on Jalen for a smile or a chuckle. But I tell you what, if this was really a basketball team, Jerome's father would be seated right beside him, making sure he understood each and every one of his assignments in the game. I'm telling you, I truly had a wonderful time with all of you. And that's why I'm honored and humbled to be here with you to celebrate the culmination of all the years of hard work and sacrifices that you and your families have made in furtherance of your education. You know, truth be told, 2020 kind of has me feeling like a graduate as well. You know, I think we all deserve a I survived halfway through 2020 t-shirt. You know, but, you know, given these trying times, I'm glad to know that everyone is present and accounted for. A commencement address is said to be a dance between wisdom and youth. You know, so what do I tell this special group of youngsters about the world in which they're about to enter? Well, in the words of Bob Marley, I decided to just tell the children the truth My dear friends, I regret to inform you that our beloved community is at war. So on that note, welcome to the front line. That's right, our community has perpetually been locked in conflict with two big I's: ignorance and inertia. Now don't get me wrong, our community is not the only community that is afflicted with ignorance and inertia, but ours is not of the willful variety, shall we say. Nevertheless, this conflict has ravaged our community and left it in somewhat of a vegetable state. Although despair seems to run deep in our communities, where there is life, there is hope. And when I speak about ignorance, I'm talking about the state of not having information or knowledge. Knowledge about your history, knowledge of self. Our people have been kept in the dark for far too long. Centuries of perverted social engineering has separated us from our history. And when you separate a people from their history, you disarm them. I'll say that one more time. When you separate a people from their history, you disarm them. You disarm them because in doing so, you separate them from the potential that lies within. They're unable to even conceive the possibilities of their full potential. This is why I took my job as a history teacher so personal. Because I took it as my duty to connect you with the greatness that lies within. But in order to do that, you had to understand the greatness of those who came before you. You know, in the early 1960s, a great man's life was brought to an end in the most heinous fashion. This man was beaten, shot, and then buried. Then his body was removed from the ground, chopped up, and then it was dissolved in acid. And then anything that remained after that was set ablaze. You know, when you think about it, even Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King have grave sites that you could visit if you wanted to pay your respects, but not him. The person I'm speaking of is the one and only Patrice Lumumba. He was the first democratically elected leader of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he was assassinated because of his desire to nationalize the natural resources in the Congo. One of those resources is a mineral known as coltan. To put it shortly, no coltan, no cell phones. No coltan, no things like laptops or other electronic devices. In an Independence Day speech in 1960, Patrice Lumumba said, we're going to keep watch over the lands of our country so they truly profit her children. Despite the fact that the Congo was a budding democracy, America and Belgium had other plans. Okay? This is arguably the most important assassination of the 20th century. You must ask yourself, why are you in the dark about it? Well, let me tell you, you're in the dark about it because they don't want to have anything to do with any more Patrice Lumumbas. I promise you that the powers that be would rather deal with 1 million Lil Waynes as opposed to having to deal with one more Patrice Lumumba. The good news is there are 3 simple things that you can do today, that you can begin to do today to cast away ignorance. Number 1, you can begin to develop an insatiable appetite for reading. Yes, reading. Number 2, you can begin to drink water regularly. Number 3, you can associate with people who do number 1 and 2. To those who question whether reading and drinking water can be used as tools of enlightenment, I ask that you view them as you would nails. Although nails are very small, you can't build a house without them. Once a structure is complete, you can't see them, but best believe they're the glue that bind together the entire structure. I encourage you to build yourself with these nails. Build a family with these nails. Build your community with these nails. And I promise you that they will be stronger for generations to come. As a matter of fact, I can't name one great leader in the struggle for freedom and equality who was illiterate when they rose to prominence. Huey P. Newton and Malcolm X were both young adults who struggled to read. Huey taught himself to read after graduating from high school, and Malcolm X taught himself in prison. So, see, both became voracious readers before they became great leaders. Some of you may be thinking, well, Mr. Van Zandt, I already know how to read. But I'm talking about getting to a place where you reach for a book instead of a remote or your cell phone. I'm talking about advancing your level of literacy as far as possible. Spend an afternoon in the library instead of the stoop. Download books and even audiobooks instead of video games and apps like TikTok. Once you begin to read with regularity, your vocabulary will flourish. You will become a wordsmith and begin to wield the English language like a sword. When I mentioned drink water, I'm sure many of you thought, well, Mr. Van Zandt, I drink water. Again, just like reading, I'm talking about making water a primary option. This is something I learned in college by observing many of my colleagues that hailed from places outside of New York City. They used to opt for water over soda all the time. Now I know why. Drinking water provides innumerable health benefits, plus it's extremely economical. And since our brains are mostly water, hydrating your brain with water improves your ability to think, concentrate, and remember. This is why the most successful people read and take care of their bodies. And drinking water regularly is an essential part of taking care of your body. Now, lastly, I ask that you be mindful of who you spend time with. If you were to ask your friends, have you read any good books lately? What kind of response are you likely to get? Have you actually seen your friends read outside of school? From time to time, I ask that you look at what the people around you are drinking, reading, and what they talk about. Surround yourself with people who fertilize your mind and help you learn ways to nourish your body. Now that we've spoken about ignorance and how to address it, inertia is when you know something should be done, but you choose to be passive. We know politicians tend to overlook issues in our community. We know the store on the corner routinely mistreats people in the community and efficiently ushers our dollars out of the community. We know the jails are overflowing with our young people. We know our children are being miseducated. We know the police snatched Greg Floyd, Freddie Gray, Eric Garner, and scores of others out of our community with impunity. But what do so many of us do? We neglect to vote. We return to the same store and give them our hard-earned money. This is not okay. Things will never be okay until we remove the moratorium that has been placed on our freedoms so that everything our children can imagine is unquestionably possible. Malcolm X once said that when I is replaced with we, even illness becomes wellness. We must wake up. We must disturb the universe. We must do more than click share on Facebook. We must organize, vote, volunteer, and donate. Nowadays, folks tend to do it for the gram. No, we need to put aside our thirst for attention and do this for the love and not the likes. Allow me to remind you, no one on the bus cheered and clapped for Rosa Parks as she was let off the bus and arrested. Allow me to remind you that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was spit upon, assaulted on various occasions in various ways. Fast forward to today and you see the same type of hatred being leveled against Colin Kaepernick and the BLM movement. History has taught us that in America the righteous path will most likely be a perilous path, regardless of whether you come in peace. But do not let that dissuade you. The stronger the resistance, the more righteous the path. Your presence here today is a resounding proclamation that ignorance and inertia will not be the victor. Now that we've given you the tools, it is time for you to dream boldly, smash all limitations, real or imagined, and blaze a new trail for you, your family, and your community. The question now becomes, who among you has the courage to rise from their seat and proclaim their space as the next great leader, the next great doctor, the next great scientist, the next great politician, the next great engineer? If we can be more, we can be great. With everything that's going on in the world between COVID-19, struggling economies, and the rebellions that have taken place across this country, we have arrived at a critical juncture in human history. A seismic shift is taking place in this world, and a before and after will emerge. You're in a privileged position to shape what that after can look like. Invested in you is not just our time, money, and energy, but our hope for a better tomorrow. On behalf of the administration and faculty at Independence, yes, those people, the homework givers, the where is your homework askers, the put your cell phone away sayers, we want you to know that we love you and we wish you well on your respective paths in life. And if you happen to encounter tough times while on your path, remember who you are, adjust your crown, and move forward in your glory. Thank you.
Congratulations, class of 2020. You are probably the most unique graduating class of all time. The masters of distance learning and virtual celebrations. You have shown everyone how resilient you are and that no matter what hurdles appear in your path, you are able to jump right over them. You spent the first 2 years of your high school career in a tiny modular building, and you were proud. When you thought you might lose your school, you fought back, showing everyone that you all mattered. You moved to a new state-of-the-art facility that afforded new opportunities, and you took advantage of them. And then you were hit with COVID-19 and the shutdown of your city. Schooling became an at-home project. No more gatherings, no more sports, no prom. But you made it. Through everything, you truly are to be celebrated. I had the honor of being your biology teacher in 9th grade, and I had the additional honor of being your chemistry teacher in 10th grade. I enjoyed learning with you. You were and still are mine. Ms. Mullen to most, and Grandma to many. Thank you. As you close this volume in the story of your life and start the next volume, you will have new experiences and make new memories. I hope you carry our shared experiences and memories into your future, where I know great things are waiting for you. I love you all. Go out and change the world.
Oh, baby girl, you're here. You did it. You made it. I'm so proud of you. I know there were probably times where you thought you weren't going to make it, but I always knew you would. You're such a lovely young woman with a lovely heart and a gorgeous smile. I hope that all your dreams take you to the corners of your smile, to the highest of your hopes. to the windows of your opportunities, and to the most special places your heart has ever known. I love you, Sierra. Continue to be the best you that you could possibly be.
Congratulations, Independence Class of 2020. You made it. I'm so proud of you. You've overcame so many obstacles, from the pandemic, from being in school for 13 years. You're at the end of this journey, but the journey is just beginning. I know that you have all the tools necessary to be successful in your life, and I want you to apply the many lessons that you've learned along the way. Remember, you can do anything you put your mind to, whether it be school or work. I want you to be the best version of yourselves in every situation you find yourself in. Take all those lessons and make sure that you do everything that you set your mind to. I'm proud of you. I'm excited. I'm happy to have been your teacher, and I pray that you just be everything that you've been called to be. I look forward to hearing all the success stories that will come in the future, and I ask you to continue to conduct yourselves the way that you know you should conduct yourselves. We are looking forward to you being great, and I can't wait to see it. Be blessed and enjoy this accomplishment because you deserve it.
Thank you to the most wonderful staff a principal could have. Without hesitation, your support has been genuine and consistent. We are most grateful for our speaker, returning and sharing words with the graduates. Mr. Vinson remains a part of our school community, although he is no longer on our campus physically. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and for continuing to see the value in our students here at Independence. Thank you to the BTN staff for your support of Independence School throughout this school year. Best wishes to you all. Be safe and know that you are loved.
Kawali S. Bakari, Dorian N. Batchelor, Jalen D. Foreman, Marquess S. Gregory, Christina M. Jackson, Corietta E. Lawrence, James P. Menheim, Jordan C. Parasol, Shaira Reed, Aaliyah S. Robertson, Kalia T. Robinson, Jerome S. Savage, Tawan K. Tate, Matthew A. Thomas, Amina Turnip Seed L, Anthony A. White.
In recognition of the records and achievements of the students of this class, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as principal of Independence High, I certify that these students have met the graduation requirements of both the Baltimore City Public Schools and the Maryland State Department of Education. I take pleasure in recommending to you, the graduating class of 2020.
Acknowledging the certification and the recommendation by the principal, and by the authority vested in me as Director of Executive Strategy and Operations to the Chief Executive Officer, I take great pleasure in presenting to you the graduating class of 2020 for the conferring of diplomas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of presenting to you Dr. Lynette Washington, Chief Operations Officer.
Congratulations, class of 2020. This is an amazing milestone. In recognition of the certification of these graduates, the recommendation of the principal, and the acknowledgement of the Director of Executive Strategy and Operations, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as Chief Operating Officer of Baltimore City Public Schools, I take pleasure in accepting the graduating class of 2020 for the conferring of high school diplomas.